Clarky's Cooking Corner, where we make quality food for the family on a budget. Let's see what we're making today. We're gonna make an easy bake lasagna. First, we need to start off with sauce, and then we're gonna make the cheese. Let's get going. To start our meat sauce, we want 1 onion, 1 bell pepper, and then let's chop this up and get it in our pan. Now when cutting your peppers, the way to properly cut a pepper is to go down the sides and kind of curve your cut. So when you're done, you have something like this. You hardly any waste. Because we're cooking on a budget here. Now we have our onions and peppers cut. Let's get them into the pot. When you want to start sauteing your veggies is what you want to do first. You want to add a little bit of canola oil, okay? Just add a little bit, just a little splash, all right? Let that spread around. Now you take the veggies that we just chopped. You want to, you hear that? That's the sound you want to hear. Now I personally like to put a little bit of garlic in there. So I'll take a tablespoon and scoop out just a little bit, maybe a half a tablespoon of garlic, maybe a little bit, tiny bit more. Throw it in there. And you want to saute these veggies until the onions become translucent, which means like clear. Like you want them to be almost transparent. Nice and soft. Remember, always clean as you go. When you're done using something, cap it up, put it away. That smells delicious. Smells amazing. Now we have salt and pepper, but you want to wait until we add the hamburger before you add the salt and pepper. While we're waiting for the veggies, let's make the cheese. For our cheese, we want 2 pounds ricotta, 2 pounds mozzarella, but I would not use all the mozzarella. I would use about 2/3 of mozzarella. After I get done mixing it up, you want some mixture that kind of looks like this. Not too grainy, not too shredded. It's going to look perfect. All right, now it's time for the hamburger into the veggies. Try not to play with your meat too much, because then it won't cook. Now, once you got the hamburger in and it's starting to brown, you want to season it. So I use oregano, just a couple dashes, some salt, a couple shakes, some pepper, use the large pourer, a couple shakes, some basil. Get a little generous on the basil when you're shaking it, because basil goes great with any kind of meat. Alright, now that the meat is browned, we want to add our tomato sauce. So let's use our crushed tomatoes and just dump them in there. Just dump them in there and let's mix it up. That looks perfect. That looks perfect. You're not going to be disappointed with this recipe. Now let's get ready to assemble our lasagna. Now we're going to assemble the lasagna. Now, first things first, you need to put a small layer of sauce on the bottom. You don't need to put a bunch on, just enough so the pasta doesn't stick to the bottom. So just a little bit. Oh, that means the oven's ready. Alright, now depending on the casserole dish that you have, see how this is a little too short? All you gotta do, just break it off. Bam, there you go. Alright, then you want a layer of cheese. After your layer of cheese, which, there we go, you want to put a layer of sauce, the meat sauce that we just made. Be very generous with your cheese and sauce because we're only doing a couple layers. Jay, how does that smell?
Amazing.
Alright. Now that we're in the middle, we don't need to break anything off. I'll tell you what, the payoff's going to be amazing. Your kids are going to be happy, big smile on their face. They're going to be like, Mommy and Daddy are gourmet chefs after you eat one of these recipes. Now on the top layer, all you want is sauce. That's all you want. You don't need any cheese on the third layer. Go. Now, we want to cover this with tin foil and throw it in the oven at 350 degrees. There we go. Now, throw this in the oven on the center rack. Set your oven for 55 minutes. All we're going to do is wait for that 55 minutes to be done, throw the rest of the mozzarella on there, and then we're going to put it on broil and brown that cheese. Alright, now that the lasagna is done, and you can tell that it's done because it's bubbling. You can see how it's bubbling on the side. What we want to do now is we want to put the cheese on and get that nice and toasted up. So here we have the extra cheese that we didn't use for the cheese. This is going to be such a delicious lasagna. I guarantee your kids are going to love it. They may not like onions and peppers or garlic or anything like that, but if they eat this lasagna, I guarantee they're going to gobble it up like Halloween candy. That's pretty much the goal here, is everything that we make the kids are gonna love. And it's cheap. Alright, now it's time to put it in the oven, and then we're gonna put it on broil, and we're gonna toast up the cheese. Now, we pop it on broil on high. Right. All we want to do is we just want to melt the cheese and brown it. The food's already cooked. We just want to melt it and brown it and then let it sit. Alright? I'll see you at the next step. Now that we have the cheese broiled, let's pull it out. Oh my God! Look at that. That looks delicious. Now there's your finished product right there. That's your finished lasagna. Now what we need to do is we need to let it settle for about 15 minutes and then we can cut into it. Alright? Alright. The reason why you want to let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes after you pull it out of the oven is, for one, it's going to be hot. It's going to be the same temperature as the oven was on. And it's going to fall apart. So you cut into it and you try and pull it out. First of all, you're going to have to blow on it, and it's going to be impossible to eat. And it's going to fall apart on you. So the reason why you let it sit is so it cools down, it solidifies. This dish should make 12 servings. So this is more than enough for a family, plus extras. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it in half. And we're going to cut the halves in half. And there you have 12 servings of lasagna. Cheap, easy way to make lasagna for the entire family. Now, let's see how this lasagna looks. I'm going to break off the edges first. That is a beautiful piece of lasagna. I hope you guys enjoy at home, because I'm going to enjoy at my home. Have a great day. We'll see you next episode. Please like and subscribe.